Hey guys, it's Jen here from Nails by Jen. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome to my channel. So today's video is a watch me work video and I am going to create these beautiful opal nails. So if this is something you're interested in, stick around, keep watching. As always, don't forget to click that like and subscribe for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below and let's get started. Alright guys, so first things first, I do have to take down her old set. Now I have a watch me work video on this set as well, but it's actually going to be going up after this set, so stay tuned for that. So she asked me to take off some of her length because she was banging them quite a bit and causing herself some lifting. She was wearing them really long for quite some time, but for whatever reason they were getting in her way now, so we just shortened them up a little bit. Now I am absolutely loving these new bits that I got in Pittsburgh when I was there in September. I love the shape of them. They are 2X coarse carbide bits, so they are just chewing through the acrylic. The only downside to it is that it's creating a lot more dust because it's chewing through the acrylic so much faster. It's coming off in more chunks, and the other odd thing is that it's almost like creating static electricity, and the dust is sticking to my gloves, it's sticking to the client's hands. So if you guys have any tips or tricks on how to prevent that, because it is driving me crazy, but I love using the bits because it's way easier to file because of the sharpness of the bit. It's cutting through the product so much easier. So I'm basically just shortening up her nails, and then I'm going to be debulking and taking the product down to a thin layer. So you can see here how much dust is all over my hand, all over her hands. It's like it is literally staticky, and when I even try to brush it off, it doesn't want to come off. So you guys, if you have any tips or tricks, like I said earlier, please let me know because I don't want to stop using these awesome bits. So the next step is to push back that proximal nail fold. At the same time, I am scraping the nail plate slightly with my cuticle pusher, and I am scraping a little bit of that cuticle off, but I will get the majority or all of the cuticle off with my little cuticle bit. So once I'm finished with my cuticle pusher, I go in with my hand file, and this is where I'm just starting to refine that shape, take out any little hooks of her nails, her little eagle talons as we call them. I'm sharpening them up. I'm also going to remove any little bits of lifting if there is any left on the nail plate, and also make sure to remove any shine off of the nail plate. Alright guys, so once I've done all 10 fingers with my hand file, I am now going to go in with my Erica's micro taper bit. So as you can see, I go up along the left side of the client's finger, which is my right side, and I keep it in the forward direction. I do not switch back from forward to reverse on my e-file. Once I have done all 5 fingers, I go back to the pinky and I start in the center of the nail, and then I go back down her right side of her fingernail, which is my left side, if that makes sense. This is just what works for me. I have tried switching from forward to reverse. I just find it kind of annoying and just an added step. So you just have to get your clients to move their fingers. When you are using bits like this, you want to make sure that you are holding them relatively flat to the nail. You do not want to be holding them up straight and poking into the nail or digging into the nail. You want to hold it relatively flat to avoid any damage. And you also want to be using your e-file on a very low speed. So next I'm going in with my 50-50 mix of 99% alcohol and 100% acetone, and I'm cleansing the nail. You can also use the Young Nails swipe for this. And after I do this on all 10 fingers, I'm going to go in with 2 coats of the Young Nails Protein Bond. So you will notice that the brush that I'm holding from the bottle looks different than the Protein Bond, and that's because I actually put it in a different bottle just because I have a hard time using the smaller bottle. And once I have applied 2 coats to all 10 fingers, I'm going to finally get into doing the design. So I apologize, you guys. I do not have any names for these items because the majority of them have been purchased on eBay many years ago. So as you can see, I just have some iridescent flakes. I have one that picks up a blue hue and a pink hue, and another one that picks up more of a, I guess, multicolored hue. And then I have also got some little mylar flakes, and I'm also using the resolution glitter from Young Nails, which I know is impossible for you guys to get it in the US. I'm not sure why, but you can purchase it at Canada Nail Supplies. And then I'm also going to be using a milky white acrylic. So this is a custom mix acrylic that I have made by using 1 part white to 4 parts clear. So when doing nails like this, that is an opal design or some type of a crystal design, you're going to be working in layers. So I just started off by putting a thin little layer of some clear acrylic, and now I'm patting in the multicolored flakes. And then I'm going to add a very, very thin layer of a milky white acrylic. Like I said, this is a custom mix, one of 4 parts clear to 1 part white. So as you can see, I'm keeping it very thin. Now, if you started making this really, really bulky, first of all, the nail would get really thick and you would not see all of the little tiny bits of the mylar pieces kind of showing through that milky white. So I'm going in now with the blue and pink sort of colored flakes, and also adding a little bit of that resolution glitter. So I've just dipped my brush in the clear acrylic and then into the resolution glitter to pick a little bit of it up. And then next I'm going to go back in again with another layer of the milky white. Now what I'm showing you here is every step on the ring finger, but what I do is I actually do each step on all 10 fingers and then go back to the pinky, do all 10. I just wanted to sort of edit this video so that I could do everything on the ring finger and show you all of the different layers. So again, I'm adding more of the flakes. This time I'm basically adding all of them. I'm adding all the multicolored flakes, the blue flakes, a little bit of mylar, maybe a little bit of glitter, and then one last layer of the milky white. And this one you want to be extremely, extremely thin, maybe even slightly thinner than the other ones, because you really want to have a little bit of that flake poking through. You can kind of see it there. So I also had to rebuild a couple of her tips, her thumbnail on her right hand and her pointer finger on her left hand. So the nail had separated slightly underneath and had kind of broken off, and when I was filing, the acrylic just snapped there. So I'm just showing you here how to put on a form, basically super simple. I like to pre-pinch my forms before I put them on. These are my favorite forms from Canada Nail Supplies currently. I have been using them for quite some time and I really, really like them. And I'm just rebuilding the tip with some clear acrylic, and this is the step that I would do before I start applying all of those layers. Alright guys, so the next step is to encapsulate all 10 fingers with the clear acrylic. Now I want to take a few minutes here to talk to you guys about lifting, because I had been struggling for quite some time. I want to say maybe 6 months, maybe longer, with some of my clients just having way more lifting than normal, and I had tried switching out to using the Young Nail Swipe solution instead of my custom solution. I thought maybe that would help. Did not help. I tried making sure that my primer was really fresh and I wasn't just like using a bottle till the last drop. That didn't help. I tried switching out, making sure that I was putting fresh monomer for every client. That didn't help. I tried using extra acetone to dehydrate the nail. That didn't help. So you guys, I was really getting frustrated and considering switching products. And let me just tell you, there was something that I did not think about until about 3 weeks ago, and it was that I needed to open a new acrylic brush. So you guys, I have been using the same Joann's the big one brush for probably 2-3 years now, and I absolutely love that brush. And I did notice that, you know, my brush wasn't picking up my monomer and my powder as good as I usually would like it to, or even when I was applying it, it maybe was a little sticky or whatever. And I honestly just thought that it was the temperature of my room, something else. And it did not dawn on me until a few weeks back that I needed to switch out my brush. It's like I literally had the biggest brain fart ever, and for whatever reason, I just never thought to switch out my brush. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because it's not something generally that people will recommend if you're struggling with lifting issues, but if this is something that has all of a sudden started happening, you didn't change product, you didn't change primer, the company did not change the ingredients or anything like that, and all of a sudden you're starting to have lifting, I highly recommend get a new brush. So I haven't had any of my clients come back yet that I have been using the new brush on, but they will start trickling in this week. And I have just noticed, just even in application, how much smoother the application is. There's no stickiness. It's so baffling to me how I did not think to switch out my brush. I think I had just been so used to the way that my product was applying for so long that I just didn't even think of it. So you guys, if you're struggling with either your product not picking up properly on the brush, and let me just also add that yes, I did try cleaning my brush. I've always cleaned my brush. You know, I usually use acetone, soak it a little bit, make sure there's nothing in it, and then I would recondition with monomer. But I think it's just, I had it for way too long. So if you're struggling, again, I cannot say it enough, try a new brush. All right, so the last step before we get our top coat on is to shape the nails. So I'm just using my 100 grit files, and I am going to shape them into a very sharp little dagger because that's what she loves. She loves her little daggers. So I'm just going in with this file. I will shape and sharpen everything up, and then I'm going to go in with my buffer, and I will buff them slightly smooth and then top coat, and that is it. Alright guys, that is it for this video. Another watch me work in the books. I hope that you enjoyed it. It's really pretty, and this would have been amazing with snowflakes on it for Christmas or winter nails, but my client does not like any kind of theme nails, so I left any snowflakes off, but that's an idea for winter nails. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, you guys. If you did, please share it with someone else, and as always, have an amazing day.